Well, guys, all I can say is thank heavens that we've got April joining us tonight, because Lindsay's under the weather and Ashley's computer apparently got that. Whoop.
Oh. Oh, no.
Why am I looping? Is that your fault, Michael?
I didn't notice.
It is not. I checked. It is not my fault, because it would have been looping pre-show.
I know I didn't hit any buttons.
It's all of us looping. So is it April's fault?
I don't know.
It must be. Most things are.
Uh-oh.
What is the looping mean? I
don't hear anything, but
yeah,
just wait. Everything feeds back.
No, there's nothing. Do you have two tabs open?
Oh, wait. I think I figured it out. Okay. I was getting a loop back.
It's the voices in Dan's head, ladies and gentlemen.
Doggone it. All right. It might have been. It might have been. All right.
We've switched Dan's brain with Folgers crystals.
Those of you who are new here, who April brought over, welcome to you. This is the kind of lunacy that you get here at TCF.
Yes.
The kind of chaos, the kind of fun. We just roll with it. We try to have fun. Anyways, what I was trying to say, until I figured out exactly what the problem was, at least with me. And yes, Michael, it probably was voices in my head. Thank God I figured out how to silence them. It's good to have April here, because we don't have Lindsay because she's under the weather. And Ashley's laptop apparently got that same virus that destroyed all of those Iranian spinny things. The
computer COVID.
Yes, she's got something. So nothing is working for her. So she's in the chat tonight. But April, welcome. It's good of you to join us. We are simulcasting over on your channels, at least to the people who we didn't drive away with the initial chaos. So that's
awesome.
Good. Yes.
That usually brings more of them in, actually.
Outstanding.
And I was so worried it would be me driving people away, but.
All right. So tonight,
not me doing the broken mic hand signals.
All right. So tonight we wanted to talk kind of broadly, but we'll see where it goes. Again, if you're new here, discussions go in all sorts of directions. We don't necessarily script this out. And by necessarily, I mean not at all. Though we do have some talking points to start with. But we wanted to talk a little bit about government benefits. Specifically, yesterday on TCF Live in the morning, we saw a Judge Stevens case where a woman abused her EBT benefits. She sold them, didn't she, Austin?
I believe she sold them, yes.
Yeah. So she sold them off to make money. She got caught. It was years trying to get it paid back. The paying back wasn't happening. But then she ended up just bringing a check to court, and they dismissed the whole thing. So she never really got punished or anything for it. So we thought it would be good to have a discussion about government benefits in general, because how are they abused? Are they enough for people? Are they so bad that it drives people into crime rather than helping them? You know, are the punishments okay? Should we be controlling how people spend their benefits? There's all sorts of places that we can go with this. And I'm kind of open to anything. This was also Wahoo's idea, sort of, but he even said start wherever you want. But I think a good place to start, honestly, and this is the reason why I asked April if she wanted to be with us tonight, was, well, first, Barbara, thank you for the $5 super chat. And Ashley, tech support fee of $20. Thank you for paying for your own show. I appreciate that. But April, you had on your show last night a body cam with a lady in Walmart. She had her children helping her steal.
Two of them.
Yeah, but if I remember correctly, she also paid for part of her purchase with an EBT card.
Yeah, the only part of her purchase that was paid at all was the EBT. Everything else was all stolen, and it wasn't necessity items. They had their kids push out shopping carts with a vacuum and hygiene products and, shoes and things like that, and then tried to get the felony level thefts put on their like 8-year-old and 9-year-old kids.
Yeah. And what caught me too was that you had pointed out that in your opinion, for that kind of theft, she should be banned from any kind of benefit like that ever again.
Yeah. I think any felony level retail theft should bar you from getting EBT services. At least for some period of time. There should be a punishment window if you're committing fraud or retail theft like that and using EBT. You're a net drain on society in general. You're just a net drain.
Yeah. No, and I would tend to agree, because one of the things that we were talking about backstage was the fact that so often these benefits that people get aren't that much. So the question becomes, does it drive them towards crime because they're still trying to make ends meet to get themselves fed, for example, if we're talking about EBT. But as I recall, in that specific instance, like the kids were walking out with brand new shoes on their feet, but they left Crocs behind. So it wasn't like they were barefoot or anything.
Right.
And the things they were stealing had really nothing to do with basic survival.
I would argue
it just had to do with wanting.
Yeah, I would argue that it is the people that don't abuse it are actually the ones that tend to get less because we are honest in our reporting. The ones that abuse it, they actually get a significant amount. I knew a woman with 2 kids that was getting almost $3,000 a month because she claimed that, she was homeless and they didn't have a vehicle and and the thing is she was living lavishly and she was selling her EBT and it was like 50 cents on the dollar. She would take people to the store or just hand them her card. And it's like they were living this really well-off lifestyle on benefits because they were abusing the system and how they procured them.
That's an interesting take. Thoughts, Michael?
Well, I will say, yeah, if you're being honest in reporting the benefits as someone that, is with a disability, being legally blind and knowing other blind people and you go out there and you try to pound the pavement and get employment, and it's hard to get employment when you're a blind person, even if you have college degrees like I do. So you've had to turn to the benefits, and the benefits are a joke. The amount of money you get is you can't even afford rent in a ghetto apartment in a ghetto part of town. You can't afford, especially in modern day prices. There's no way you can afford many groceries even on the amount of money. Now, you might get insurance benefits too, but those are kind of calculated in and baked in. But, you're not going to live a lavish lifestyle on the benefits that you get as a blind person or someone with other kinds of disabilities in general. It's generally anywhere from $750 to $1,300 a month, and that is just pathetic. Yeah, you might be able to qualify for other things like EBT and things like that. Maybe. There was a time in my life I tried to get those, and they just told me flat out, "Nah, man, you can't. You make too much money." And the amount of money that they think is too much is laughable as well. But had I fibbed, had I filled out the forms erroneously, absolutely I could have gotten it. So does this lead people to commit other crimes? That's the next logical question. Maybe for some it does. I mean, it does become a matter of survival. And we've talked about this on Sidebar many times, Dan, about I'm not pro theft, okay, but I can certainly understand when someone steals Top Ramen and bread and peanut butter and milk, versus when they steal a big screen TV and they're like, well, I had to take the filet mignon and the big screen TV.
Well, I think this is part of the problem, Michael. I just, as you said that, I was trying to think of a time where we've seen somebody steal Top Ramen or bread or milk, and I can't.
Once.
Did somebody?
Yeah. So there was a case once that we saw. It was someone that was homeless, that had been homeless for many, many years, and they had been busted for multiple thefts. And generally, they were just taking stuff like, gloves in the winter and like peanut butter and just basic foodstuffs. Not anything lavish. They're not stealing from jewelry or iPhones or whatever.
If I remember right, they took like white T-shirts as well.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay,
just some
I do
basic.
remember that now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I have a lot of sympathy for that kind of a situation. Again, I'm not saying, oh my God, everybody should go out and steal if you're having a hard time, but I at least can sympathize. I can understand. I know that there's programs to help people, but some people slip through the cracks. And some people do so because other people that shouldn't even be taking advantage of that are committing fraud. And so there's no other place for the people that actually need it to get it. So that's why I think part of the reason that the other crimes happen too. So, it's a domino effect, sort of.
I personally don't believe it in what is now being called crimes of necessity. And this is something I was talking with some of my chat members last night even. I come from a community in Wisconsin. There are resources. There is help for people. There's churches everywhere that, they'll give away everything and shutter their doors before they'll let people go hungry. There's even a mobile food truck that goes town to town. There's a lot of help and resources here. Now, some of my chat members live in Washington, for example, where there are not resources. But from my own lived experiences, where I am from, I can't in my heart justify stealing to get by. I just can't. To me, there always has to be some other way. And people who are going to abuse the system, they're already showing that they don't really have, that moral compass. And if they're going to commit that crime, then they're already just have the propensity to commit other crimes. What's another crime?
I would tend to agree with that. I would tend to. I think there's always an exception to the rule, but I would tend to agree that, and that's why they call them crimes of moral turpitude, theft. Because
I can't
in
say
general,
that word, by the way.
most of the time when we see theft cases here on TCF, most of the time these are cases where someone is stealing stuff because reasons, they just want to steal stuff.
Yeah.
Or they just wanted it, so they stole it, or they have some sort of they're kleptos or whatever the reason, or they need it for their drug money, or they needed to pay off their gambling debt or whatever, but they have some vice or some reason and they had to steal it and, quote, had to. So that's why it happens. So I don't have much sympathy for that. So, that's the problem. And so so the benefits, but for the really poor people that are on these benefits and that do live their lives honestly, I could see how the temptation is there.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I've never been in that situation. Okay. I've never been so poor that I've thought, I gotta go out and, where I'm sitting there going, should I just get Hubba Bubba today and that's it? I mean, that's about all I can afford, but I understand, if you sometimes living honestly is a little bit harder than not. You know, there's
I was going to piggyback off
no good deed goes unpunished.
Come on.
Just mentioned in her last part there about I live just a couple counties south of April, and we also have where I can turn when my little bit that I get a month in EBT doesn't work for me or doesn't equal out what I need. I'm lucky enough to where I could turn to another agency or a food bank or something like that to help out with that. But I could never, even if I didn't have that, and I say that now not being in the position, but I can't see myself as one who would want to go in and take carts full. I lost my train of thought.
Well, it leads into a spiral, Austin. That's the problem is, you know, if you do it once, it becomes easier to do it the second time. And then it's easier to justify it in your head too. It's like, well, you know, whatever. They didn't notice it the first time. They're not going to notice when I steal when I take a jar of gravy this time, and when I take a steak the next time, and you know, when I take the entire meat department the time after that, you know, they're not going to notice.
We see that with a lot of the embezzlement crimes and stuff that we're suddenly running across all the time, where you've got accountants stealing stuff. They start small, and then the next thing you know, they've financed their whole house with it. Tim, thank you for gifting 10 memberships. Very generous of you. Thank you.
Very nice. Thank you, Tim.
But, you know, so yeah, I agree. It just kind of ramps up and ramps up.
I want to add one other little tidbit to this. Like not everybody on my channel even knows this, but I lived in my car for a few months. When my daughter was in sixth or seventh grade, I left an abusive relationship, and I had my daughter live with a classmate of hers, and she was thriving in the school, and I didn't want to pull her out, and the nearest women's shelter was a town over. She'd have had to change schools, and I knew that it was a temporary blip on the map, and so I lived in my car. And even during that time, I never once stole to make ends meet. I went to Walmart every night, and I would buy the clearance cheese and meat and clearance bread, 50 cents for a loaf of bread. And, I had ramen in my trunk and a little hot plate that I could plug in at the local park. So it doesn't, just because you're poor, it doesn't mean you have to resort to that.
Right.
If you have morals, if you have, conviction in your heart, you're going to find a way.
Yeah.
There are in some places, many agencies and even organizations, nonprofits that are willing to help. You just have to ask.
Yeah.
Most times.
Well,
there are some that do have some requirements that are different than others.
But the big thing you just struck on there, April, was morals and ethics, and that's what's so lacking right now. Mortimer Duke, thank you for $9.99 for the cause, you say. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Oh, very nice.
And Ashley, can you hear us? Can you speak to us? No? All right.
No.
All right. Well, she's
I thought we were going to do hand signals and.
All right. I just wanted to know what your status was. Your video's not choppy though, so there's that.
That works.
So you could
you're
do
halfway
ASL.
there.
Now it's not going to work for me. I mean, if it
write
for the rest
stuff
of the
on
audience.
a dry erase board and just hold it up to the
hold it up.
camera. That should be fun. Just don't make it stuff like I'm being held hostage. Help me.
Let's stay away from that one.
Let's maybe not do that.
Although, Dan, that might get views if one of us gets swatted for that. Just kidding.
That is the last thing I need right now, Austin.
I do not want that either. Please do not do that.
Because the stream originates from here. They will come after me first, so let's not.
Yeah.
I'm not going to ask why you have those. I don't want to know. Sidebar guest reveals all.
Tonight on Sidebar. Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
Now this is getting interesting.
oh,
Am I
hey.
here? Okay, cool.
Yes.
Yeah.
You made it.
All right.
Hello.
Welcome back.
Hi, April. Hi, everyone. It's my first time I can talk. That's nice.
All right.
Hi.
Well, tell us what you got to say then.
Well, yes, it's a slippery slope. For lack of a better word, if you still want and you get away with, well, the people we see don't get away with it, but if you still want and you get away with it, you're likely to steal again and again, and it becomes a repetitive thing. But I know some people, like Mike said earlier, I understand the justification for some stealing, especially if you're in dire straits and dire needs. I feel like that is justified. Now, I agree with April's point with the EBT. I think if you steal with the EBT card, you should be banned from using EBT for a certain amount of time. But I know that also presents problems, because that probably will lead to more stealing, and that will start a cycle as well. So
It's that spiral.
yeah.
Well, and just to clarify, Ashley, I want to make it very clear.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that it's okay to steal stuff.
Yeah. It's more justified.
I'm saying that I can sympathize with it.
Oh,
someone that steals a big screen, I can't. But someone that steals peanut butter and bread or whatever, I'm not saying, oh my God, yay for you. You know, boy, put a crown on this guy. But what I'm saying is, I get it. I understand it. Yeah, there's still ramifications and repercussions you should face, but you're not the same kind of monster that we see, someone that just decides to steal $1 million from their employer.
Right.
I mean, there's different levels of evil, or there's different levels of bad.
Yeah.
There's different levels of crime and wrong. And some wrongs, at least you can understand somebody's position. And I think one thing that lacks in our society is empathy and the ability to understand. That doesn't mean condone, but it means to understand where someone's coming from and have at least a little shred of humanity for them.
Yeah, but with this case in Judge Stevens' court, where that lady gave away her EBT benefits. Yeah. I don't know.
She just wrote a check, and that was the end of it. And the case was over.
Absolute abuse. Yeah.
And in the pre-show here, off stage, April was just like, well, that's the poor don't get justice. It's like,
no, laws are only for the
laws are only for the rich.
No, laws are only for the poor.
Or laws are only for the poor. Yeah, the justice is for the rich, and laws are for the poor.
There we go.
Yeah.
But on that note, I was looking at some statistics, because that's what I'm into. I like my research. So I looked into benefit trafficking. That's what they call it. When you're using the EBT benefits, it's called benefit trafficking, not trafficking. And there's 1.6% of trafficking that happens with EBT cards. That amounts to $1.27 billion.
Holy crap.
So, yeah, it's an issue. However, as nothing compared to the people that actually give out the EBT, because they make mistakes and there are issues on that front. And the benefit calculation or eligibility processing errors. And that amounts to 10.62%, which amounts to, ready? $10.1 billion.
Yeah.
And that was from 2016 to 2017. So guess what that amount probably did?
Double.
I know.
Yeah.
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 Way up.
So
Well-
that is that.
I'm looking at 2024 numbers right now, Ashley,
Yeah.
and the cost for SNAP alone to the country was 100 billion in 2024,
I believe it.
but 6.6 billion of that was just the cost to get the benefits into people's hands, which is crazy
Like
to
the
me. as well.
distribution?
Yes.
How?
In this technological
How?
age, well, this is government efficiency for you. So we talk about the theft and the abuse, but the other end of it is the theft and abuse by the government. to be
Yeah.
honest
Each
with
card
you.
costs $10,000. I'm like,
Yeah.
how?
I mean, are they
There's
handing them the
also-
metallic gold plated ones? I mean,
you
there's
get a
also-
gold card. It's literally made of gold.
If my full name and my numbers were not on mine, both sides, I'd hold mine up, but I'm not doing that. It is not made of gold. I can tell you that for sure.
There's also,
Barely made of
um,
plastic.
I
Exactly.
also read online that there's retailer theft too. It's not just the people
Oh,
that
Yeah.
Sure.
are
yeah.
using the EBT, it's the people that are selling the products to them that
Yeah.
are also taking advantage of the EBT.
Oh, without a doubt.
Mhm.
Some of-
See, this is the thing is, we want to go after people that are just using the EBT card and applying for it, but it doesn't end there. It actually
no.
extends way
It's
beyond
the
that.
beginning. Yeah.
Yeah.
it's the
Yeah.
beginning.
There's some bodegas in New York that actually were being investigated because they were ringing up things like kratom, which is a substance. It's not an illegal substance. It's an herb, but
It is if you try to advertise for it on YouTube.
right.
you would know, Michael. You
Yes,
would know.
I would know. I would know.
But you're definitely not supposed to be able to buy it with EBT. They were also allowing people to purchase hot food, and the hot food cold food issue, like, that's a debate I could have about EBT also.
Sure.
I don't care if your sandwich is toasted. I really don't.
Yeah.
But they were ringing up products that were not EBT eligible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the customers knew it too, because the person wearing the hidden camera, they were watching people. The clerk would give them a total for the stuff that was not EBT eligible, and the people would just go EBT, and the clerk would be like, "Yep," they type the numbers in.
It just goes to show. I wonder how many people that money is there for them, but they're not able to access it because it's being abused. And I bet there's so many people because of that.
Well, and that's
And
what I was
that's
saying
that's
earlier.
a major problem. Yeah. Go ahead. Dumont.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
legitimate people who need it versus the people that are taking away from those legitimate people because they're abusing it.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. We see this kind of thing with other issues too in the legal system, discrimination suits. There's so many people that file false discrimination suits, but when actual discrimination occurs against people, they have a hard time because the courts are flooded with this crap because somebody, got fired because they didn't show up for 3 weeks to their job, but they're like, well, you're discriminating against me because I have insert personality disorder here. And so I couldn't come to work for those 3 weeks. And so now I'm suing you for $80 quadrillion.
Sovereign citizens.
It's exactly. Well, there's, Sov sits. Jeez. We've done whole episodes on just those people here.
Soft sits plus Karens plus everything else.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, it's the double whammy from hell. For sure. But yeah, that's the problem is anytime there's people that have a need for something, there's also people that are going to use that and exploit the system, as we've talked about. And then that means the person that has the need, either it doesn't get fulfilled or they get pennies on the dollar to what they actually need to fulfill their basic necessities. It's wild.
Yeah. Well, and I wanted going like jumping way back when you were talking about people needing to have empathy. The one thing that I want to say about that is where is the empathy coming from the crook that's stealing when you know that stealing from the corporations is driving the prices up for everybody else, you know? So you are robbing all of your community members because you're a selfish jerk. I mean,
well, for sure. but I'll just say this though.
But it's me.
Yeah. Well, I'll just say this though. I guess we could go tit for tat on that, and I agree that they should be held accountable and they should have remorse and all those things that so often we don't see in these court cases that we watch on TCF.
Yeah.
But sometimes you have to be the bigger person and just say, you know what, I understand where you're coming from. I understand what's going on here. You're still going to have to pay the price for what you did, but I see why you took you stole the Uncrustables or whatever. You steal Uncrustables. At that point I would really feel sympathy. I'd be like, look, man, just take them. Just, you know what, man, just get those off the damn shelf. Nobody else is actually buying
I
them.
like an Uncrustable every once in a while, but that's off topic.
Of course, Ashley would.
There's a body
Now,
cam.
if there was ever an Ashley's Dark Thoughts, it's that. The whole idea that she eats Uncrustables.
I know. That's...
If
I'm
that's
really
the worst
terrified.
It gets, that's fine.
Yeah. No, that might be scarier than your compound bow, to be honest with you.
They will never.
You never
see
know
it
what I
coming.
use those Uncrustables for, though. Dan.
Targets?
Did you know that you can buy white bread, peanut butter, and jelly on their own?
April, that's
Yeah.
work.
I know.
That's
I wanted-
I just like to
April.
reach into my refrigerator and
It's
like,
cooking. I want it now.
It's my sandwich and I want
I
it.
want it now.
Yeah, that is really the ultimate lazy man's thing, to buy something that and it actually costs more to buy Uncrustables than it does to
Yes, it
buy
does.
the bread,
Yeah.
the peanut butter, and the
dollars.
jelly. And by the way, you can make more than what's in the package.
Yes, Michael, but what if they're a convicted felon and they're not allowed to own a knife? How do they get that peanut butter and jelly spread on that?
That's
They'd
you
have
know
to
what,
use their
Dan?
fingers. It's messy.
Are they allowed to have sporks?
Well, they let them have
No.
them in prison. Kind of.
Yeah, so
Oh, yeah,
I mean,
true.
I suppose you could use
Or
a
eat with some-
spork.
You eat with your fingers.
Go
Just
grab a
flip it around
branch
and
off the
use-
tree.
Use the handle of the
I'm gonna
sport.
break off a switch to make my peanut
Talk
butter
about-
and jelly
talk about
sandwich.
me.
But then they're holding a weapon again.
Yes.
Talk about me being lazy, though. I get those squeeze bottles. Like that the peanut butter and jelly come in, and I just squeeze it on the bread and put it together because I am too lazy to get a knife sometimes. That's how lazy I am.
Huh.
But Ashley continues to confuse me. So for those of you who are new to TCF, first off, welcome. It's good to have you all here. And one thing that's become immediately obvious to me, April, is how compatible our communities are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that's very
Yeah.
cool. But
Yes.
for those of you who are new, there's a little bit of lore around Ashley. Ashley, you're what, 4'11"?
Yes.
So
I'm
tiny.
4'11".
Tiny.
I am.
I
I'm 110 pounds for the record.
I am convinced Ashley is an assassin. And I think that because she's very excited about weaponry. And she talks openly about like shooting a rattlesnake out in the street with her compound bow and
In the chat the other day, she said
Yes.
there's a certain satisfaction with cutting into things.
Yes. And then we brought up nunchucks at one point, and now she's researching those. And there's rumor
Still trying to find some.
there's rumor that here at the compound, here at our bunker, that we are currently working on an Ashley Assassin game, because we need to spread this lore even deeper. But she's frightening. So where it's weird to me is like, yes, I will kill you, and you'll never hear me coming.
She said, literally said that. She didn't say kill.
I'm
She just
too
said
lazy for Uncrustables. It's got to be an Uncrustable because I am too lazy to do anything else.
I like a compound.
I
bow 'cause
am,
you'll never hear it
because
coming.
how I look at it is knives should be used for specific reasons.
Oh my God.
PB&J. Oh, those reasons.
I mean, you're not wrong. There's specific reasons. You know, OJ had one, and
Ashley, don't confess your crimes.
Allegedly.
alleged. Well, no, not a. Well,
I will go.
it's found guilty in the civil trial, Austin.
Good point.
There you go.
Oh man.
Okay, yeah, we're off topic.
Well,
That's what we do here.
That's
Cool.
it's called sidebar. I mean,
did
it's sort
Took
of
a
goes.
sidebar.
Yeah, but
Yes, it is.
but see, this is the whole point, though, is that that's what we do on sidebar. But I mean, it still doesn't stray for the fact that, frankly, first I'm terrified of certain people, and I'm not going to name names. But also, no, we really do need to, and we never come up with a solution. Those of you that are new to Sidebar, the thing is
we don't.
we never solve anything here. We did that one time, and that was it, and we vowed never to do that again.
Well, yeah, I had to unlist that episode.
Yeah. But this is one where there are solutions to the problem. I just don't know how we would really execute these solutions. I mean, I know in Florida, so I briefly did live in Florida for about a year and a half back in 2011, 2012. And down there, old Rick Scott, remember Rick Scott, his solution was to just drug test every single person that was getting any sort of benefit from the state. And what a surprise. There was quite a bit of pushback from a lot of people, not just, from everybody from civil libertarians to, you talk about uniting the parties. A lot of pushback on that. It was kind of weird. Although from from people that were his fans and his supporters, they thought it's a great idea on that EBT, on that SNAP. You better make sure you're going to get tested because, I want to make sure if you're doing that marijuana, you're not going to be able to get out there and buy yourself a can of soup.
I remember that, and I supported it.
See, I cannot support that. I cannot. You talk about.
That one. I think that should be nationally, legalized all across the board. Yeah, that one's a nothing burger to me. But for methamphetamine and
well, here's the problem. The problem with that, though, is the cost of that. Well, the cost to drug test and then there's this thing too, there's sort of doing drugs is a crime, and you do kind of carry this presumption of innocence. And so do we just have the right to just randomly test people simply because, does that mean, because if we take it to its logical conclusion, does that mean we test blind people who are getting Social Security, people in wheelchairs, people that are deaf, like every single person that's getting it? Because if we start doing that, you want to talk about a national debt. Holy cow. Although big labs or whatever, big lab testing would love that bill. They'd support that in a heartbeat.
Corporations will love that.
Those drug testing cups are like $8, $8 a piece. So
times,
of course they are.
Yeah, times how many people are on benefits.
That's more than an Uncrustable.
Barely. We should only drug test people that are on Uncrustables,
right?
And Hot Pockets.
And hot. My God.
So,
I abandoned those.
Michael's, the drug testing, they can go anywhere from $5 a test to $400 a test. So that's
yeah,
how much
especially
we
if-
would be talking for one person.
400.
If you're
wow.
doing the 12 panel test, like the full test, like those 12 panel tests or whatever, those things are super expensive.
That could be.
Yeah. So if
That'd
you
be
really
like a
want to
full
find
panel
out,
blood
ferret
test.
out who's on like, the real, like the opiates and stuff like that. I mean, yeah, you got to do some of
yeah.
those deeper tests.
Yeah. That,
Not just
that's
pee
the
tests.
Average.
I think
So,
there's a 12 panel one, and then there's a 32 panel one.
Oh my
for
God.
the higher ones. The 32 is only used in military and clearance kind of.
We
level.
found out you took a baby aspirin during the Reagan administration.
Yeah, that'd
It's
do it.
true. Well,
pretty much.
well, I did.
I will say my opinion on how do you fix it. My opinion is get government out of it as much as you can. I mean, especially with the figure of how much percentage wise goes to the government versus what's going out for actual benefits to people who need them.
No.
I say get government out of it as much as possible.
Well, that's never been good. Reagan very, very famously in his time for choosing speech back in '64 pointed out back then that family aid to the poor was costing the government $4,600 per family a year, but the actual amount that made it to the family was only $600.
Yeah.
So,
Wow.
he said it would seem there's some overhead.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it's gotten no better.
Yeah.
Real quick, Specs, thank you for the $2, your lurking tax. I appreciate that. And Tim,
Oh.
thank you for gifting 5 more memberships. And I think
Oh
we
my
landed
God.
on a couple of April's people. So that's very
Wow.
cool.
Man.
But Mike, I got a
Yay.
question for you. We were talking about Florida and EBT and CREX, I guess is how we pronounce that.
C-Rex.
C-Rex, thank you. $9.99, great stream. Hi, April. I love you. Thank you, C-Rex.
Aw.
Appreciate that. But I got to ask you this question: What's going to be punished harder in Florida, an EBT fraud
Oh no.
or taking a fish out of season?
Oh my God. Well, we all know taking a fish out of season is basically life in prison down there.
It will be
those
a
of you,
fish out season for sure.
Those of you that don't know, this is, and it sounds like we're these guys are hilarious, and thank you, we are, but it's actually truth that we watched it from Jackson County, Wade Mercer, first appearance. A guy had 9 counts of fishing out of season, hunting out of season. His bond was $45,000. $45,000. Not long after that, we cut to we were watching Judge Grumpy Pants down there in Miami. And she had, who was that? What was that? The football player, Dan, who was
Antonio
that?
Brown.
Antonio Brown, who was basically in a conspiracy, like a murder conspiracy or attempted murder. His bond was $25,000.
Yeah.
Fishing out of season, murder or attempted murder. Like,
Who's Judge Grumpy Pants?
Mindy
Oh,
Glazer.
Mindy
down
Glazer.
Mindy Glazer. She doesn't
Miami
stream
area.
anymore.
she doesn't stream now, which is very sad. We actually love
Miami Glade. Yeah.
we love Judge Glazer.
yeah.
I actually do have a Judge
Ow,
Glazer
ow,
game
ow.
finished. I just haven't released it yet.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's called Hangry Judge. It's very cool.
Yeah, but that was in the same state, and 45,000 for hunting and fishing out of season. Oh my
Well,
God!
priorities, Michael.
Yes,
I don't know if I told you guys this, but after that Glazer thing, I did a little bit more research. He actually had to pay an additional $10,000 because they charged him for going to get him, basically, even though, from my understanding, is he flew back into town.
Yeah, but it's still less than the fish.
it's just okay. That's
Yeah, it's still less than the
35,000.
fish, but still, I was just saying that there's an update to it, basically.
Do whatever you want in Florida, but don't you goddamn dare fish out of season. Holy wow. I mean, you are, yeah, you're in deep doo-doo.
Perhaps.
Yeah. So, you know, yeah, EBT, and you know, this is the thing. I guess, yeah, the solution would be, part of the solution, maybe get the government out of it. Maybe part of the solution is, you know, we put together a better society in general. We you know, have better education available to people, and maybe we, you know, we focus more on building from, you know, communities and families. And
Oh, I'm all for that. Bring back the nuclear family.
But you know, that's one of those things that's a lot. That's we put that into the utopia category. Yeah. That's
You'll
like we have to press the reset button.
You have to rebuild civilization all over again for that to happen. I don't think it's not a reversible.
Okay, so we just
reversible thing.
Well,
so we're just gonna need all the stones, and we're just gonna need the glove, and then we're gonna have to do the snap.
It would have to take. It'll have to take something
Restart.
very drastic for that to even be considered, in my opinion.
I mean, it always seems to boil down to that in the end with the discussions we have about if people were just better. You know, it's the whole morals and ethics conundrum. But I do believe that it's getting worse, not better. There's never going to be a time, unfortunately, where everybody's going to toe the line. That hasn't happened in the history of human beings, and it's certainly not going to. And that's some kind of divine design that I don't understand, but it is what it is. But it does seem like it's getting worse and worse. I mean, just look at the courts and how backed up they are. You know, it just, all the cases they're trying to try, they can't get through them. It just, but you know, then it comes down to what's driving that. Have we just lost morals and ethics? Have we just forgotten how to teach that? Or have things gotten so bad because those that we put in power to give us a system that works have screwed the pooch and nothing works?
Little from column A, little from column B.
I think it's creating desperation.
I think it's survival mode for sure. I think people are just trying to do their best to survive and get through day to day. I do think that is part of the issue. And they don't really care if what they have to do to survive at this point. And it's
well, I think that comes as a function of the people that are in power, Ashley, and you know, as Dan said, that you know, there's a lot of skimming off the top, and there's a lot of people in government right now, and over the last, you know, well, for many years, most of my lifetime, really, quite frankly, but especially in the last 10 years or so, there has been just a spate of this problem, and it just continues to grow exponentially.
Yeah.
And you know, people just bring in their own cronies, and it doesn't matter what side of the political aisle you're on either, by the way. There's no one innocent of this. There are some people within these groups that try to stop it, but the problem is they are quickly shut down and marginalized, and the people that want all the stuff for themselves and want the power and all that's who takes it. And of course, what happens is there's an effect, there's a ripple effect all throughout, and it, you know, it goes down to all of us plebeians down here. And so then people feel like they have to do this sort of thing. And of course, there's just some people that are just bad people in general, and they're just going to do what they want to do anyway. So
yeah, they're going to take advantage of the situation no matter what it is.
So, you know, there's a mixed bag.
But a big aspect of it is behavior that has escalated because of a lack of accountability and the catch and release systems of the jails. No one, I mean, cops have to almost overcharge crimes because the prosecutors are going to dismiss 90% of them.
Well, we talked about that topic here, the overcharging.
Charges, yeah.
Yeah.
And
if we would hold people accountable and where people actually faced, consequences for their actions, then we would build a better society.
I think the type of consequences I think are Dan and I have talked about this extensively too, is just putting people in jail is not the answer. Like jail itself is for some people that's all you can do. There's some people, the child stuff people, that's where they belong. They belong in a box and keep them there. But a lot of other people, just putting them in jail is like wasted. It's pointless when we could put some people to work. We could put people into a position where they could potentially give back to the community in some way or another and try to right the wrong. Because, someone that has to pay $30,000 in restitution, if you put them in jail and then you let them out and expect them that they're ever going to pay that money back, you're dreaming. That ain't going to happen. Mm-hmm. But if we put people to work and we have them trying to give back, in some way, that is a better alternative to me.
Oh, I completely agree with you that, idle hands are the devil's tools. But we can't just keep letting criminals go. Especially, there was one that I was watching this morning that he had literally just gotten out of prison for red rum. I don't know if we can say that the other way, but and he had been out, 10 months or 9 months, and in those 9 months he had been arrested 14 times, and then he was arrested again for attempted red rum on someone who was critically injured, like they were in the hospital, touch and go for a long time. If he had been locked up those 14 times in between for assaultive crimes, then that other person would not have been hospitalized. We have facilities for those people.
This is just one of those topics. Boy, you talk about unpacking things. This is like 40 different episodes of Sidebar that, we've
really. We've been on all these.
This is another one that we talked about, and that is that, there are certain people that should probably be in Baker acted or put into a mental facility or whatever. Although over the years, various leadership has sought fit to close a lot of these facilities. Yep. And so we have less places to put people other than just putting them in prison, which is just, again, the worst place to put people that may actually be able to be rehabilitated. So instead, but I can guarantee you, if we keep just slamming people in prison, they're not going to get rehabilitated in general. So, but if we put them in some other kind of facility and hopefully we can prevent them from committing 14 different kinds of assaultive behaviors by maybe addressing what causes that in the first place. Now, again, some people are bad people and they're just going to do that. And yes, prison is just the place for certain people. And that's just the way it is. There's a certain amount of loss you have to attribute to. That's just the way it is in society. But there's a lot of people that we could potentially rehabilitate. But instead of even trying to rehabilitate, we're just like, okay, here's what you do. Just don't screw up for 6 months or 9 months or 12 months. And then that's it. And you're gone. Okay, thanks. And we don't give them the help they need.
You know where a good place for rehabilitation would be implementing more trade work programs in the facilities, so they're not just sitting in a cell for 23 out of 24 hours a day.
Yeah.
How's that good for your mental
skills.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That's the thing they do real well in Norway, I believe it is.
Yes.
Giving them skills, giving them training. We're not
Yeah,
as good at that here.
Norway is one of those places where they generally don't put you away for very long in prison. I mean, the longest time you're in is usually about 10 to 15 years. But they also have far lower crime rates because their emphasis is on correcting the behavior and trying to give people skills and making the best use of that time while still punishing you, but, you know, legitimately making it a correctional facility as opposed to what we call correctional facility, which is basically just try not to get shanked today.
Yes.
I think it works better over there, though, Michael, because the society is very homogenous. For the most part, there's one set of values. Here, we've got 1,000 set of values, and I think it makes it harder to pull something like that.
Well, it's also a smaller population, Dan.
Yeah,
I think that's the other thing, too. Is it's not as crowded. You know, the more people you pack into a smaller area, the more, you know, the tougher it can be. But yeah, it's hard to compare Norway to the U.S. in a lot of ways. It's apples and oranges, you know, or hot dogs and lefse or whatever. You know, it's yeah. Oh yeah. Well, you know, I'm German and Swedish and Norwegian, so you know, gotta have the lefse
and North Dakotan.
Oh yeah, for sure. Now. Yeah, you betcha. I mean, technically, I was born in Minnesota, but then I lived in Grand Forks for 4.5 years. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Austin, save me.
Yeah.
Been corrupted. Sorry.
Yeah.
You'll never go back. It's Hotel California
TCF.
all over again.
Yeah. You will sadly remember this moment for the rest of your life.
Yep.
Yes.
Well, I say Hotel California as a reference. Cool.
I still remember my first night. It was basically the same.
And now Austin is just as evil as the rest of us.
I was the same. I was dumbstruck by everybody. I was like, what do I do about this? Like, how do I?
Well, you just talk to Asmodeus every night, and you'll be fine.
Oh, heavens. On that note, chat, let us know if we've done a good enough job of scaring off April tonight.
Yes.
I know. Do better
She's going to run.
April Searing versus TCF. Judge, I need a restraining order.
Perhaps. We should probably gather up some final thoughts. Ashley, you were only here for a little bit, but
I know.
What do you got to say for yourself?
Well, for the EBT to get better, unfortunately, I think the whole thing would have to be revamped and redone from the ground up. And that's not going to happen because again, each state has their own EBT process and accounts and things of that nature. So I have no way to solve this, unfortunately.
Well, good, because we don't solve things on this show. That's
Right.
part of the founding principles of Sidebar.
Right.
Austin, any thoughts?
I can't think of a way to solve it, but even if I could, I would think it would have to be from the ground up. So it'd be more work than, I don't know, more work than it's worth, maybe. I don't know if that makes sense.
Perhaps. Mikey?
I think there's a solution here. I'm just not entirely sure what it is, other than the people that need the benefits should be getting them and more of them. And the people that are abusing the system should actually be punished severely for doing so. Or I don't know, maybe we gouge their eyes out or something and force them to actually have to have those benefits now.
Or ban them from using EBT ever again.
I mean, there's also that. There's lots of and again, I don't know if those are solutions as much as they are maybe Band-Aids or maybe they're partial solutions. Mm-hmm. But if we want the grand solution is we just need to start making better people. So let's get on that, society, and go.
Well, now you're stealing my line. That's not fair.
I'll make better
I
people
always
now.
talk about making better people. You stole my thunder.
I'm sorry, man. You know what? I apologize. You know,
They
We'll
share a
discuss it
mind
backstage.
sometimes.
yes, you'll have to come up with your own final thought then, because I stole your final thought.
Well, that was my own final thought. All right, I'll think of something else. All right, April, you got anything?
I think the EBT system is only broken because the people abusing it have broken it. And I think we need to rely more on community than on government. We need to help each other out.
I would agree with that.
Like the food, for instance.
Food banks,
But
churches,
yeah, food banks.
research,
Mhm.
help your neighbor. If you personally know someone who is struggling and they're a good human being who's not abusing benefits,
Mhm.
I don't know, cook them dinner once in a while, invite them over. We need to stop living our lives in isolation just for ourselves. We need to be community members and neighbors and friends. And that involves socializing sometimes.
Another thing that COVID didn't help, but yeah.
So, in other
Yeah.
words, April, the way it used to be.
Yeah.
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 The
I
good old
follow you.
days, like Bluebell ice cream.
Anybody got some non-copyrighted nostalgia music we can put on for a moment?
Didn't have anything
Non-copyrighted.
queued up ahead, but So,
That's firecrackers, I tell ya.
right? So, interestingly, we never got off of the food assistance thing. All the other things we could have talked about, we just spent a whole hour on the food. So that tells
It
you
does.
something there.
Yeah.
So I put in a poll, should we do this again sometime? 100% yes.
Yes.
So I think you're supposed to
People
come
like
back and
her.
join us sometime.
People like the crazy.
Corrected.
I would love to. I'd be absolutely honored. This was a blast, and hopefully my chat members enjoyed it. I've seen many of them here. It's been so hard not to call every one of them out and wave and give you all your I love yous, because that's what I do on my channel. I don't have a court channel or a body cam channel. I have an interactive chat channel. That is what my channel is. The first 45 minutes ish is kind of run by them with me talking the whole time.
You could argue that TCF is more community based than content based.
Yeah.
And quite honestly, this show that you're on right now, this is a product of the community. This show was not my idea. You guys came to me and said, we want to do a show. And I said, yeah, let's do a show. And now here we are.
Yeah.
And what is this, episode 93 now? Yes, 93
Yes,
today.
93. Mhm.
Wow.
So we've been doing this a while, but
It's been.
it was good having you here.
Exactly.
And yeah, we should probably do this again sometime, I think.
Agreed.
All right, friends, we will call it a night. We'll be back here on TCF tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. Eastern, 6 a.m. Pacific, a half an hour earlier. If you're a channel member, join us for the pre-show. That's all sorts of fun. April, you going live tonight?
What are you, Jerry?
Yeah, I guess.
I think it might be
Try and
Jerry.
shout
That
you
would
out.
have been.
Play along.
Yeah, Jerry. Oh wait, different Jerry.
I am undecided at this moment. Possibly. I don't know.
All right. Well, go to her channel, set your notifications to all, and then you'll know if she goes live.
Yeah,
There
I do. I always post it on my Discord. So if anybody wants to join the Discord, it's in the description of my channel.
Okay.
All right. All right. That's it for tonight, friends. Take care. God bless.
Thank you.
Good night,
guys.
y'all.
Thank
Bye.
you.